Welcome to the Special Olympics British Columbia Train the Trainer program. This program is designed to help Club Fit instructors feel connected to the Special Olympics British Columbia head office, as well as feel as part of a team of Club Fit instructors around the province. And the secondary goal is to give all instructors the same consistent outline of what the Club Fit programs will look like around the province. The instructor is the key to any fitness program, and we want Club Fit to help bring out the strengths of the instructors and minimize any potential weaknesses. And one way we can accomplish this is through the peer support network. So we ask that you please share your fitness ideas, games, exercises, etc. with us, and then we can pass those ideas on to all coaches and help keep programs fresh. So I want you to take a minute and think about what skills you have that make you a great fitness leader. And also, what experiences do you have that make you a great fitness leader? Because it's those things that will truly make the successful program. Now, before we get into the Special Olympics BC Club Fit program, I just want to direct you to the volunteer orientation that you can find online at specialolympics.bc.ca/community resources, or by going to the main page and clicking resources in the top right corner and then finding it under the admin section. This is an interesting, interactive online orientation for all new Special Olympics volunteers. All right, so back to the Club Fit overview for today. We're going to start with the introduction to Club Fit, which gives you an overview of the program. Then we go into starting a program, and then some safety considerations. The second section will be the main components of the course, which is warm-up, cardio, strength, and cool-down. And then the support components, which is nutrition, mental training, fitness testing, and low-intensity modifications. Now, these sections are called support components, but they are absolutely necessary as part of Club Fit. They just kind of support the main components, but that doesn't mean that they're optional. And last, we'll end with a bit of a wrap-up. So let's begin with the introduction to Club Fit. Where fitness fits and why we do fitness in Special Olympics. It fits as part of our long-term athlete development model, as part of training to compete and training to win for athletes that are looking for an extra opportunity to reach their activity and fitness goals in order to excel in their sport. And it also fits as part of Active for Life. And this is perhaps the only opportunity for some athletes who are no longer able to compete or no longer want to compete, or maybe even new athletes who haven't competed before, to be fit and healthy for life. And what we want from fitness isn't just showing up to the gym and working out for a little bit and maybe even getting the 30 minutes of cardio that they need every day, but it's pushing athletes to be active at home, to get nutritional information to help improve their overall health, to help with mental training, to set goals and be happier, and provide year-round activities to help athletes reach the current standard of 30 minutes of daily activity or more. In order to do that, we really need to look at the year-round, lifelong health and fitness opportunities for Special Olympics athletes. So that means having programs that run year-round. But we do ask that programs are a minimum of 12 weeks, and that athletes and volunteers register with Special Olympics BC. This is important for a number of reasons. Now, the typical Club Fit program will include a warm-up, a cool-down, cardio, strength, nutrition, mental training, and fitness testing, not all at the same time, but spread out across the program. We'll get into those in a bit more detail soon, but I want to talk a little bit about the important components of a program that aren't those categories. So these important components relate to various things that will help make your program successful. So the first thing to look at is to optimally challenge each athlete. And that means including different levels of difficulty, whether together at the same time, so athletes can be running or walking, whatever pushes them the right amount. And we should be aiming for about an 80% success rate. Now, the second way that we can do this is we could even split up the groups into various skill levels, but still aiming for that 80% or 4 out of 5 success rate. And this helps support motivation by giving more success than failure, but also allowing for some failure to help make sure that the athletes are really pushing themselves. We also want to provide athletes with a sense of control So give them choice of activities, equipment, or even music is a really good choice. And last, we want to encourage and support athletes to improve fitness at home as well. Provide frequent, short water breaks. It should be a surprise to nobody that staying hydrated is important for a fitness class. Second, safe and simple ideas help obviously keep things safe. And as well, using simple ideas helps the athletes transition and perform and keep their heart rate up while not making things too complicated. And using high energy and fun activities obviously is essential to any fitness program, and music can really help along that path. So those important components were directed at keeping the experience enjoyable. And one of the things that's really important in a fitness class is keeping motivation high. And there's a few different ways that we can look at doing that. Of course, we want the athletes to enjoy themselves, but we also want to foster a few other emotions. One is a feeling of competence. So that comes into that 80% success rate. We want to push them to be better, but give them lots of opportunities to be successful. Secondly, we want athletes to have a feeling of autonomy or control over their actions. So that's where we have the activities and equipment and music that we allow the athletes to choose that sometimes so that they really feel like they're a part of the program, that that's who they are. And last, we need some relatedness. So connect the athletes to each other, have shared goals of improving fitness together, and make sure that they have support at home so that we really get this big picture, motivated athlete who sees himself as a fitness buff all the time, everywhere he goes. And it won't happen right away, but that's the goal. All right, so digressing a little bit, running a program, the location has to be insured with Special Olympics British Columbia, and the program leader must take the Special Olympics competition or community sport workshop within their first year of coaching. If you're new to volunteering with Special Olympics, you may be wondering, what is it that you have support with? Well, the program can be supported from the provincial office in all ways, so always contact the provincial office if you need assistance. But there are a few things that the local can help you with as well, and they'll be your primary contact for a lot of things. So the first is to assist with athlete and volunteer registration. The second is to assist with volunteer recruitment and orientation. The third is to provide funding for items that aren't covered by Special Olympics British Columbia. This can be things like facilities and training costs. But so just remember, you're not alone, that the local and the provincial office are there to help you. There are a few more things that the local will look at as well. They're going to ensure that policies and procedures are followed. They're going to provide guidance and assistance to the program. They'll invite all the Club Fit volunteers to fundraising events, and they'll ask for a program report on a regular basis. This helps you ensure that you're not alone in running your program. One of the ways Special Olympics BC Provincial Office helps run the program is with providing resources. So providing a Club Fit manual that can be found online, as well as other online resources, which will hopefully be continually growing as ideas from coaches are shared with the provincial office to give you ideas for nutrition or for mental training or for activities in your classes. Now, and there's also going to be a Club Fit bag that you'll receive that'll have a nutrition kit in it to help with the nutrition activities, as well as fitness testing supplies, and some giveaways to help the athletes stay motivated and encouraged to meet their fitness goals. And last, but hopefully not least, is the SOBC staff. As mentioned, you'll be given a Club Fit bag that'll include resources for teaching nutrition, as well as conducting fitness testing. Now, some of these supplies can be used in all your classes, and some of them will be used on rare occasions where you need to conduct fitness testing, but hopefully these kits help you get started and help you meet all the goals that your athletes have. Also included in the bags are giveaways for the athletes. Now, this could be water bottles or therapy bands to help athletes train at home and keep them hydrated, as well as help keep them motivated. Okay, so you should have a pretty good idea of what a Club Fit program is all about. Now let's look at starting a program. Let's break starting a program down into 3 parts: before the program, at the start, and then maintaining the program. So let's start with before the program. planning a program. We will briefly touch on a few issues here, but there's more details in the manual available on the Special Olympics BC website. So for planning a program, the first thing you need to do is recruit volunteers, and then look at booking a venue at a time and place that works for you and your volunteers. Next, work with the volunteers to shape the program into what you want it to be. Getting their input at this stage can be very helpful to avoid issues later. Fourth, tell the community. Getting athletes out to the program will be essential to the program's success. All right, so you've got it figured out. Now the start of the program launch. Be organized and prepared. Lessons in place and volunteers are aware of their roles ahead of time will help things go much smoother on your first day. Also, be sure to greet your guests when they show up. Greet the athletes. Make them feel warm and welcome, and it'll go a long way to a successful program. And also, don't forget about that pesky registration. All athletes must fill out registration to participate. Also, have everybody introduce themselves. Play an icebreaker game maybe that you find on the internet, because making people feel connected to the program early on is going to be huge for the success of the program. And then make sure that you work through the program. Keep the experiences positive and safety at the forefront to make sure that there's nothing that people take away negative from those early lessons. And most of all, make sure you're having fun, and the athletes will have fun too. You'll feed off each other, and it'll be a great time. All right, so how do you maintain a successful program? So here are some tips. First, make sure you visit the facility ahead of time and become familiar with it. Next, make sure that you have the equipment required and you know the equipment you'll be using and that it's in good shape so that there's no surprises. And when possible, set up ahead of time before the athletes get there. That way they can come in and just start working out right away. Also, make sure you utilize your volunteers. They can help you save time and help you keep on schedule. And sharing the workload never hurts. And especially, a lot of volunteers want a little bit more responsibility, so this can really help. Last, establish good etiquette. Athletes should arrive on time and be properly dressed, and they should listen to instructions, and they should always give 100%. And this is especially important for athletes who want to go to games, as they can be excluded or sent home at games if they're not well behaved. And we don't want to see that happen, so this is another training opportunity to train the etiquette as much as we're training the athlete. And etiquette and the athlete are a big part of safety as well. So let's look at some safety tips. First, have workout plans. Keep the athletes moving. This helps them avoid acting out from boredom. Also, make sure the equipment is appropriate to the athlete level, that no damage could lead to injury. Be aware of the safety standards of equipment, and make sure that it's secured when not in use, and have a first aid kit and an emergency action plan at the ready. And the facility should be the appropriate size for the number of athletes, and you should pre-check the facility for hazards, and make sure you include the washrooms in your pre-check. The last risk is human risk. No activity should put the participant at risk. Look for signs of fatigue or aggression, and be aware of any potential behavior problems that may arise. Consider a volunteer's training and experience when you're putting them into a situation, and also inform parents and participants of the potential risks of any activity. Make sure that you explain appropriate safety procedures for all activities, and have a minimum of 1 leader to 8 athletes as a ratio with a minimum of 2 leaders at all times. And never leave the participants unsupervised. All participants must be supervised at all times. Also, always have an EAP on hand. That's an emergency action plan. And make sure that all volunteers are familiar with it in your program planning stage. The EAP includes a personal plan, which means who is in charge, who makes the call, and who supervises the athletes in the case of an emergency. Also, make sure that there is a cell phone or change for a public phone available, and that you have any emergency numbers necessary nearby. Also, you need to have the participant information on hand. So that means the medical forms need to be at every session. And also keep a fully stocked first aid kit nearby. This concludes the first half of the Club Fit orientation program. It probably wasn't the most interesting information for leading a fitness class, as we'll get into more details about the fitness classes themselves in the second half, but this information is vitally important to running a successful, safe, and enjoyable program for everyone.